gonna love the process of software engineering or not, because it doesn't matter how much higher package you get, 20, 50, I don't know, 1 crore package. But the point being is, if you don't like it, then there is no point of getting that package, because after a couple of years that would be so boring. And what's up, you guys? In this video I'm gonna answer one question which has been asked multiple times, like hundreds of times, on my Instagram DMs, and I've been texting all of them or maybe sending replies by voice, but I thought I should just make a video about it so that it's much more clearer. So the question is, how can I get a really good job in a really good companies like, and product-based companies like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and bigger companies like that? And how can I become a software engineer in those companies? So in this video I'm gonna just talk about how's the process looks like for a lot of people, including all of the people that I have talked to on record, and all of the people that I have talked to off record, right? So let's answer that question clearly. How can step-by-step process, how can you actually prepare? And I'm gonna talk about all of the people, either if you are like 11, 12 in high school, do you need a degree or not? Either if you are in like the first year, second year of your BTech, in any of the fields, right? Mechanical, civil, I don't care in which field you are, you can become a software engineer in any of the bigger companies. And probably if you're in the third, fourth year, or if you are like graduate, if you have already graduated, if you're already working, then all of those people will be included in this video. This video is gonna be so raw. I'm gonna be just explaining step-by-step process, what is important in that, what is not important in that. So let's talk about it. So before starting the video, before telling you the 4 steps, I would really recommend you, if you want to get in touch with me on Instagram, because I'm more active there and it's much more interactive, it's much more one-to-one. So I really recommend or ask you to join me on Instagram. The ID is there. So let's talk about it. So I would love to start from level 0. Level 0 is you knowing if you actually gonna love the process of software engineering or not, because it doesn't matter how much higher package you get, 20, 50, I don't know, 1 crore package. But the point being is, if you don't like it, then there is no point of getting that package, because after a couple of years that would be so boring. And I have talked to a lot of people like that, which really love what they're doing, and that's why they're at that level. So you need to understand, aiming for something, it's gonna be a longer vision, right? If you're gonna be working in Microsoft and if you're really loving it, then you can make it actually big, and that's the game over here. And how can you actually know? It's gonna take you time. But if you're really confused how to go about the whole process, because some people are there which like multiple things like me. They like digital marketing, they like software engineering, they like data science, they like this, they like that. There are multiple things that you like. Then there is a link in the I button, you can check it out. But if you just want to try software engineering, this is your priority, and this is something that you believe you can do, and this is something that you believe which you are good at. So let's talk about the step 1 now. You have to pick up a language and be sufficiently good at it. And I say sufficiently good, you need to be good at the level where you can code normal stuff. You need to know the basics, you need to get your fundamentals right. As one of the person from Microsoft in recent interview said, Nayanava, his video is gonna be out soon, so don't forget to follow my computer science podcast playlist over here. It's in the description box. So, and there are many interviews there which I've already took. I'm gonna be taking in coming months. So stay tuned for that. If you're really interested in the field, then do follow that playlist. I would really recommend it. So I have taken interviews from the people working in Qualcomm, from the people working Google, people having their own startups, and Microsoft, and many more coming. TopTal, 50 lakh package. So there are many interesting things happening there. So that's one thing. And which also will make you follow all the communities on the Facebook, on the Instagram. You have to be updated what's going on there in the market. And so you have to be just there, this is not the step, but you have to be there. So step 1 is setting a programming language and getting sufficiently good at it. Now, according to the conversation that I have with a person who is working in a who's working in top tile company, he mentioned that Python and JavaScript is something that one can start from if he has never done programming, because that's very much comparable to English and which is very much understandable. So it's a good place to start, and I would recommend the same. Although I started with C++, because that's what school taught me, and I believe it made me understand the programming language at the core level, at the very basic level, what's exactly happening at the machine level when you code when you print out something, what's exactly happening at the RAM level, right, the memory level. And you need to understand that when you're starting out, in order to not to make the process so intimidating, I would really recommend to start from Python and JavaScript. But if you have some experience, do have a look at the higher level languages, as they call it, C++ or Java. They make you understand what's happening exactly at the core level. So that's level 1. Pick up a language, get good at it. Or step 1, step 1, sorry. So step 2 would be to pick up data structures and algorithm, get sufficiently good at it. Now, if you want to go to software engineering, get really good at it. Implement all of the algorithms by yourself, understand everything, write everything by yourselves if you want to go into software engineering. If you want to go into data science, then probably you will have to take the another route, understanding everything else. Data analyst, something else. But data structure and algorithm is something that you cannot avoid. Doesn't matter which route you are taking. So that's important. Step 1, pick up a language and get sufficiently good at it. I would say it's going to take you somewhere around 2 months. If you are really giving your time onto it, like 10-12 hours a week at least. More than that, then it's good. Step 2 is data structure and algorithm. It's going to take you somewhere around 3 to 4 months getting okay-ish with it. I feel, and I'm talking about very personally, you can be done with the data structure and algorithm within a couple of months, or you might take more than 4 months. I would say 4 months is like average. So in 6 months time, you would be good enough to appear in the interview. So when I said that, that will include the people who are actually already working, or who are in the 3rd year or 4th year and planning to have a job. Right now, if you're in the 1st year, take your time, understand if you're really made for this or not. Right. The next step would be to go deeper into it. Learn C++ and Java if you're really in 1st year or 2nd year. If you're in high school, right, you need to understand the fundamentals. You get that base level correct. Now, then comes the step 3, and this is very optional. This is not very much. I would say it would make you better, but I would say it's at the same time it's very optional. It's mandatory. If you do it, you will be really good, and that's called competitive programming. Now, there are very vast variety of different websites that makes you practice competitive programming. CodeChef, HackerRank, HackerEarth, there are many, right? But the point being is, you just pick up one and start doing it for a couple of. When I say step 3 is optional, I mean actually competitive programming is not required, but if you do it, you're gonna be better at solving problems, and that is a skill. You will be improving that skill with time. Now that's step 3, and I wouldn't give you any timeline for that, because it's ever going, right? So and step 4 would be right before the interview. You have to prepare for it for at least a month and a half, or at least a month if you're really fast. If you're really a fast learner, then it's a month, right? And you have to prepare yourself for the interviews. And trust me, for all of the things that I have mentioned, the links are in the description. You need to check the description. There are a couple of sources that I have learned from, and people from Microsoft, from Google, from TopTal, those people actually recommend those sources, and I really vouch for it. I'm not saying that I have done all of the resources, but I am just including every kind of recommendation that I have got from all of the people out there in the description mode. You have to check it out. And apart from that, if you have watched this video till now, the step 4 is to like the video so that you can get a really good job to And I and that's a joke, right? But if you like the video, it will help the channel to boost the video. It will help the YouTube algorithm to make it visible to a lot of people, which will help. And if you really feel this is helpful, you gotta like the video. That's the step 4 that you have to take. And apart from that, when you're ready for the interview and when you appear in it, and if I have anything to do with it, drop me a DM on Instagram and I would love to have a chat with you. With that, thank you so much. See you in the next video.